Welcome to Sports in Season Finale. Look, we've had a great year bringing you various stories on the sporting front, and the last few days have been even better. Look, for myself, I got to cover the Sports Hall of Fame where 3 more legends were inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is actually the 5th Hall of Fame. Bradley, how about yourself? You've covered a number of stories as well.
Of course, the weekend was interesting for us. We went around various sporting fields, took to the rugby league fields especially.
Oh, yes.
Also golf, which was interesting to note.
I know you got to hear from one of the co-coaches for the Vipers. They're looking for new players now?
Yes, of course. You know, rugby league is growing in Papua New Guinea, and we met up with the Vipers co-coach who spoke of the need for speed come 2020.
That's great to hear. Now, apart from that, other stories include the National Triathlon Championships, which is coming up later in the show. We also spoke to triathlete Rachel Sapery James, and she also shared her preparations towards trying out for the Tokyo Olympics. There's also Cricket PNG and Volleyball Federation EA in review, and of course, a recap of sports scene this season.
We begin with triathlon now. And the National Sprints Championship, which took place here in the capital at downtown Ela Beach, saw a number of athletes from Port Moresby, Wewak, Kavieng, and a few offshore athletes took to the challenge. The event started at the break of dawn on Saturday.
It was swimming, cycling and running, this time with over 50 athletes, including a number of national representatives and the juniors who also joined the race.
When you finish your run this time, you'll be running just through here and there'll be screaming parents for you.
The Juniors Pickaninny Tri Race was the first event of the day showcasing Pickaninny triathlon programs, which involved 7 to 12-year-olds. This race saw the kids swimming a 50-meter race course.
Guys excited and ready to race?
Followed by a circuit of cycling of the perimeter of the APEC house. And a running lap following the same course and finishing off at the transition point right in front of APEC house. Jaden James smashed the race course out in the lead and came first. The next event was the Super Sprints Juniors Under-16 and Sprints Open National Championships race category, along with team sprints all rolling out together in mass race. This mass race during high tide, which was a good swim condition and a beach run entry start at Ela Beach directly opposite APEC House and back to the transition point. In fact, Super Sprint Under-16 athletes did a swim leg of 400 meters race course, and the Sprint Open and Team category, that's for both the males and females, did a 750 meters swim race course. This was followed by a cycling bit, which saw them doing a flat fast bike loop around the APEC house before completing 4 laps, amounting to 20 kilometers around Paga Hill Ring Road to Harbour City and back. That's just before another 5-kilometer run leg to finish off just at the walkway at Ela Beach.
Well done.
In the Sprints Open male category, the first to come home was Robert Stringer, an Australian-based PNG junior athlete, in a time of 1 hour 6 minutes and 5 seconds. PNG rep and New Island-based Piwan Kutan finished first in the female category. And in the Super Sprints Junior Under-16 category, Kennedy Kaukiri from Sepik Ironman Development finished first, along with fellow teammates Solomon Otto and Jeffrey Asakai. In the female super sprint juniors under 16 category, Zita Newtall from Cairns finished first, followed by Jeneline Alex from Sepik Ironman and Sky James from New Island Triathlon Academy. Event organizer and PNG athlete who is also currently the national coach, Rachel Sapery James, was pleased with the event rollout.
Very well done. This year's National Sprint Triathlon Championships is part of our national squad selection. So it was a wonderful race. We are so lucky and fortunate to have our newly facelifted Ela Beach to be our race venue site. So the swim was fantastic off Ela Beach, just adjacent to APAC House today. We would like to thank the National Events Secretariat for letting us use the outside perimeter of the APEC House as our race venue. It made for a wonderful beach setting for all our athletes. They really enjoyed it.
She added that one of the agendas in 2020 would be to host more events utilizing the newly refurbished Ela Beach area.
We have the Triathlon Pickaninny program, which I would love to use more of this centre stage and the front beach to run swim and runs and aquathons and get the Pickaninny program running every weekend. It would be great if we can get more support. With sponsorships, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Coca-Cola, PI came on board, and Skell Rice, alongside Rapid Response, and a lot of help from the police and the water police just to lock down the roads. The other side with the Triathlon Federation, under our International Triathlon Union, our governing body, for safety we really have to lock down the roads and shut down the roads to ensure safety. And part of our objective was to show that we could hold a real world-class event, and I think we did such a wonderful job today, and I would like to thank the police and Rapid Response for ensuring our road safety. We're going to make a bid to hopefully hold a regional international event now that we've had our test run for our National Sprint Championships, and I think it's an amazing race venue.
The rest of the results of the Triathlon Championship can be found on our Facebook page, that Sportsin page. Now, since we had the opportunity, we had to find out from our national representative, Rachel Sapery James, as well, whether she will be trying out for the Olympics. Here's what she had to say.
So I recently had my little baby in February, and I've been doing a little bit of strength and rehab to get my body back up and going, and High Performance has been helping me with that. Wendy Albert, so my High Performance physio coach in there, and I've gone through my 1 month rehab strength build. Now I'll be going through my training from December up until end of February. I hope to be ready for my first Continental Cup, and that will be my bid for qualifying for Tokyo 2020. It's a long shot, but I'm going to give it my best. And it makes a challenge for me, and I like challenges, just like all our triathletes here. A lot of triathletes, they like to be challenged and push themselves. So anything can happen. I don't have any doubts in myself. I'm confident in my ability, and I'm just going to work hard to try and go for Tokyo.
Yeah, look, Rachel, fresh from having her baby in February, she will be trying out for the Olympics at the Continental Cup early next year, and we do wish her all the best. Apart from that, the water sport itself, triathlon, I think for now they're looking at bringing some of the activities that usually happen in Wewak and Kevang out here to Port Moresby because of the newly refurbished Ela Beach. So that's something we should look forward to in the new year.
Of course, traditionally the game you would hope to see played outside of Port Moresby, right. But it's good to have the outside centres also coming to Port Moresby to take part in the triathlon.
Absolutely. We'll go for a break now, and on the other side we take a look at Cricket PNG in review. Stay with us.
Welcome back, Papua New Guinea. You're watching Sportsin. Now, joining me in the studio tonight is authorities from Cricket PNG, Lee McDowell, the general manager for Cricket PNG, and Joseph Dawes, the coach for the Barramundis, who have been successful this year. Now, mentioning Barramundis, highlights for 2019, successful year for the Barramundis. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been a good year. We had 2 goals this year, was to regain our ODI status, which we did in Namibia early on in the year in April and May, which is massive for the sport. It brings a lot of funding from the ICC, allows us to continue contracting both our male and female players, and it gives us genuine guaranteed cricket now through to the 2023 World Cup, which is really exciting. And then obviously the big one, creating history recently where we were in Dubai and qualified for the first ever senior World Cup in the country with the Barramundis, the men's team. So yeah, it's been an exciting year, and the last month has just been unbelievable and good fun.
Just tell me a bit about that. What did it feel like having to bring home this historical team making history in Papua New Guinea?
I didn't bring him home, a plane did, but it was great. It was great to be part of it. You know, it was actually absolute honour to be part of it at the end of the day. It's been a lot of work done by a lot of people over a long time, but we set our goals 18 months ago to achieve this, and we've worked really hard and had a vision on how we were going to go about it, and the boys bought into that, which was fantastic. And they've worked really hard and deserve everything that's come with it. But the moment it occurred on the balcony, I think everyone probably has seen the footage. It was pretty exciting. A lot of relief, to be honest, a lot of emotion, but really exciting, and yeah, it led to a pretty good night.
True, amazing. Now, Lee, leading up to this, there have been a lot of obviously challenges and what that you faced as the general manager in your time. And tell us some more of the highlights aside this that have happened throughout the year.
Yeah, so sports administration always has lots of challenges. So you got your international scene and your domestic scene. Internationally, we've obviously had a great year with the ODI status and the World Cup. So that brings challenges next year with how we make the most of that to advance the sport. And you know, we do it properly. We get cricket 3 to 4 years ahead of schedule. Domestically, we want to grow the game. At the present, we're in 12 provinces around the country. We want to be PNG's favourite family sport, so we need to be in every province. There's always challenges with you know, getting the right people and logistics and everything else to make it all work, and of course money. Sports administration never has enough money. There's always more that you want to do, but you've got to manage within your budget. So, but yeah, we've just launched some new programs coming up in the Highlands, which is a new area, which you know, brings cricket to new people, and hopefully through that, you know, we identify talent that in the future represent the country in both the Barramundis or the Lewas. So it's exciting times, and particularly over the next 12 months with the World Cup coming up.
Yes, exciting time. Now, you mentioned the launching that was, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Yesterday.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so All Search Foundation recognised a program we've been running predominantly at NCD, which is the Cricket Blow or Getter program, which is cricket for everybody, all inclusive. And that mixes learning about cricket as well as life lessons and messaging. So they've provided funding for us to take it up to southern and Ela provinces at this stage, which opens a completely new market. It'll improve lives and improve communities up there, gives the youth you know, a new challenge and a new opportunity. And all going well, you know, we'll get that spread further around the country under that system, and get more people playing cricket and more people learning, you know, life skills like health and hygiene, and campaigning against violence, and keeping kids in school and encouraging them to follow their education once they finish school. And BSP are on board with financial literacy, so yeah, very valuable lessons that using cricket as the vehicle to get them through, I think is going to be a very successful way of improving the communities.
It's great that you're taking this holistic approach to cricket, not just addressing learning how to play cricket, but all other social issues and developmental issues as well. It's a great job that you're doing. Now, let's look at what to expect in 2020. What do we see coming from Cricket PNG?
World Cup trophy, maybe. It's going to be a massive year, and we encourage all Papua New Guineans to jump on for the ride. It's you know, it's 12 months away, and it'll build very quickly, and you know, within no time we'll be down in Victoria. Well, Joe will be. I'll probably be here, and playing on the world stage in front of you know, hundreds of millions of people on TV. So. it brings Papua New Guinea to the world, and that's a good thing. And the way they play their cricket attracts attention. And as one of the commentators said in the World Cup qualifiers, it's PNG is going to be everyone's second team.
Wow.
So it's going to be massive. Yeah.
Well, we're excited and looking forward to that. Preparations towards, give us a bit of insight.
Yeah, the boys started back this morning. So they've had 2.5 weeks off since they've got home to share and enjoy the time with their family and friends, and which is really important. You know, sport can be cruel to you, but it can be, you know, your best mate. And when it's been kind to you, it's important to enjoy that, which they've done. But this morning, the hard work started. We talked about this morning as a group that we've achieved something, but now the next journey starts, and the group inside the group itself. It talks about using a hashtag, the New Barras. It's just something that's internal for us, and it means something. But the New Barras has made some history, but we've got a lot more that we want to make. So that started this morning. You'll see the boys, the viewers in POM will see the boys running up the freeway on Friday morning, so the girls will be doing that as well. They're going to be out and about. As Lee said, we've got a lot of cricket next year starting in May. There's 3 really good tournaments that are going to be here and based in POM as well, hopefully, if it all comes together. But between now and then, there's a lot of work physically and on their skills to get ready for all of that. So you'll see them running around and working hard, and they're up and about. They're really, obviously, as they should be, excited about next year and really looking forward to not only going to Australia and making up the numbers as a team, but going there and just being proud exponents of their country and showing off what the cricket is in this country, and the personalities, because we've got some great personalities in the group as well.
Yes, we've seen that during the qualifiers. Now, exciting times coming up in 2020. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us tonight on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
There you go, Papua New Guinea. Lee McDowell, General Manager of Cricket PNG, and Joseph Dawes, the coach for Barramundis, who were successful in the T20 qualifiers 2019.
Welcome back, you're watching Sports Scene. Now, still on cricket, youths from 2 project villages under the Cricket PNG in partnership with Child Fund came together in a friendly match in closure of the pilot project that has been running over 2 months. Aside from cricket skills taught, social issues such as special needs, inclusivity, gender equality were some of the subjects that were addressed in the sessions throughout the duration of the project. Sports Scene was up at Tubuseria and captured the project on its final day.
Beautiful Tubuseria village, just 20 to 25 minutes from Port Moresby city. Hosted a friendly cricket match last Friday as part of the project headed by Child Fund in partnership with Cricket PNG. The last leg of the project witnessed a Hetura or friendship match held between project communities Tubuseria and Pari villages. The friendship matches included mixed and men's teams. Despite the scorching heat of the sun, youths from both villages played to the best in a short 15 overs game due to time constraints. At the end of the matches, Pari dominated in both the mixed and the men's games. The Child Fund pilot project commenced on the 2nd September with 5 teams consisting of 13 facilitators.
For this particular pilot program in Papua New Guinea, we targeted 5 groups, 2 communities, that's Pari and Tubuseria, and 3 schools, Waigani Primary, Generally Primary, and Badihagwa Secondary. For today itself, it's the 2 communities from Pari and Tubuseria coming together to wind down their pilot program in the community, and they've complemented it with a Hetura match. Hetura match is all about bringing the youths together from the 2 communities on how to interact, socialize, and share with each other what they have learned from session 1 to session 9 in this Cricket for Good project.
It's a fairly new thing for us Papua New Guinean men to interact the way we do normally to females. I'll say it in talk patients. All by calling me play gali suppose me play interact one time already. But this program has taught us to be, females are equal to us, so we have to treat them like such. The other thing is the roles played by females in the community. Because of that, males look down on them. So this program has helped us understand the role in the community.
A young mother who has found cricket to be her newfound favorite sport says this project has helped her build her self-esteem and confidence and plans to educate others back at home.
I want to thank Cricket PNG and Child Fund for this pilot project. This is a very good program they have, because I have learned a lot from them, like violence against women and children. So it has changed me a lot.
Just for this program, I learned how to play cricket.
A player with disability was one of the most agile players on the field. He says these 9-week sessions have given him more to aspire to and hopes to make a career out of the sport.
The outcome of this program is to basically help these young ones back in the communities to look after themselves, or to have good relationships with their families and friends and loved ones in the communities. We are giving them certificates today. Maybe in the future, when we have national sports happening around in the country, they can be also used as facilitators or administrators to help around.
Still on cricket, Koitabuan village of Kira Kira in Port Moresby is running a cricket competition for the first time. The tournament is known as the Kira Kira Ogo 2020 competition. A new competition has emerged. Many cricket players from PNG have come from the village, including current PNG Barramandis.
We have 6 teams playing for this competition right now, and we also have 2 international players who are included in 2 of those teams, namely Kipling Doriga and Hiri Hiri.
The village has a team competing in the Port Moresby competition.
Again, we love cricket. It's been here for more than 80, 90 years. And then the reason we are doing this competition is because we want to prepare our players for the season 2020, POMCA season 2020.
A total of 6 teams are competing in the competition, which ends in March next year.
We serve POMCA Grand Final, and we are qualified to put a premier team next year. So we're preparing for that premier team, and also we're preparing our under-18 to play for the under-18 POMCA team, KCC team.
We'll head out for a break now. Volleyball Federation year in review up next. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. Now we continue with the EN reviews. Joining me in studio tonight is the President for Volleyball Federation, Mr. Kila Dick. Mr. Dick, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity on behalf of PNG Volleyball. Absolutely.
Now, just like the other heads of sporting bodies, we're now giving you an opportunity to review the code of volleyball, what's unfolded for the sporting calendar for this year. Let's begin with the highlights for Volleyball Federation. What are some events or stories that you would like to reflect back on for the year?
Well, for this year, we ran a couple of national championships. Yep. Our first national championship was the club championship, which we introduced last year.
That's right.
And this year was the 3rd time running. And that was held in the I think, third or second week of September, straight after the independence celebrations. And that particular championship ran very well. We had very good turnout from the clubs that won last year in their normal associations competitions. The second national championship was the under-21s and the National Open Championships in Leh that was recently held.
Just last week.
Last weekend, yeah. So that was 5 days of competition. So we started under-21s on the Wednesday. I think that was the 6th, right up to the 7th and the 8th. And then we start the Open Championships from the 8th to the 11th. And having to look back in some of the championships that we've held, we finished very late, early hours of the morning. This year's, the 3 national championships were really successful. We finished them during the daytime, gave the spectators the opportunity to come and watch the finals, and also, leverage the sponsorships that we have secured over this year. This year, we were very, very fortunate to secure some very good sponsors. One was the BSP Bank. They gave us, donated us with 50,000 kina, and that was a really, really big plus. So that covered the National Club Championship as well as the beach volleyball too. We also had a beach volleyball straight after the National Club Championships. And up in Leh, we had the sponsor from Premier Small Goods. They had the naming rights over that particular sponsorship. So this year we had 2 sponsors. We also had a very successful corporate dinner. We raised over about 35,000 kina.
Considering the introduction of the tier system, there's been a jump in the level of competition.
Actually, one of my dreams was to try to change the format of our National Volleyball Championships. And in 2016, when I became the president, and in 2017, we introduced a tier system. So we had a tier 1 and tier 2. So we put all the best associations in the country, like Vabukori, NCDVA, Fairfax, UN Gulf, Hula, and Tatana. Those are the 6 top associations in the country, and they were seated at tier 1. And the rest of the other associations that have a lower competition, they were in tier 2. So in that particular competition in tier 1, one of the associations really stood up, and that was Fairfax.
That's right.
Fairfax, over the years, have been playing second fiddle to NCDVA or VAVA or Tatana, but when we changed that system, we saw them, rise up. And they played the grand final in 2017 against Vabukori. They lost 3 sets to 1. They played grand final against Vava last year, and they lost 3 sets to 2 by a very close margin. It was 15-13.
15-13.
And this year, they shocked PNG Volleyball. They defeated Vava 3-0 by a very good margin.
Who would have thought anyone would have beaten Vava?
Who would have thought after 14 years?
That's right.
And that was a really shock, defeat for them.
Indeed, indeed. Now, looking at some of the setbacks, I know it wasn't a smooth, it wasn't smooth sailing for Volleyball Federation. I know our volleyball team missed out on the Pacific Games as well.
I'll talk about that one. That was really a very disappointing journey for me as the president. In many instances, I tried to, argue our case with the PNG Olympic, particularly the Justification Committee. Different sports have a different approaches in the games, and different skills and different technicalities of each sport. And when you become when you play an important decision-making body, you need to balance up all the discussion points before you make a decision to whether you allow a sport to participate at those particular games or not. And our women's volleyball team was the most unfortunate team that missed out in the Pacific Games. I felt that we had a chance of winning a medal, and I speak very strongly for the women. In terms of empowering women, there's got to be balance in the way we do things, and we give fairness to everyone. And women must be given the leverage to be promoted, to be given the opportunity to expose and explore their potential.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, that would also be sort of a platform for them preparing towards the 2023 Pacific Games as well.
That's the platform that we are setting now. Is the next couple of years before we get into 2023 Pacific Games, we need to make sure that we expose our players in many international competitions. And that will set the platform for them to be experienced.
Right. Now, regardless of the setbacks, 2020, what's in store? I'm sure volleyball would have a very busy calendar.
Yes, a very, very busy calendar in terms of programs like I've been a member of the Revise and the National Sports Policy with the PNG Sports Foundation, as well as the other PNG Olympic Committee, some important stakeholders like Department of Finance, Department of Planning, Department of Education. We've been discussing to revise the National Sports Policy, and one of those important things that we talked about was giving funding assistance to the national federations, because in many cases, national federations don't have the grant funding each year. And so this year, the government has given funding to the PNG Sports Foundation. So 28 sports have been identified, and those 28 sports will be recipients of some funding to start up the operational office.
Volleyball
and volleyball is very fortunate to be one of them, and I'm very grateful to be the president in this endeavor. And so next year we'll be putting together our operational plan and to set up an office for us to have actually staff to be paid to work in this particular operational office for PNG volleyball. Also, so that's important.
And that's great news.
Yes.
Now, there's a coaches program as well?
Yes, there's two other activities that we will be rolling out. One is the Picnic Play program. The Vice Minister for Sports have identified 3 sports, and we are very fortunate again to be one of those sports identified because volleyball is a very popular sport right around the country. So we'll be rolling out a national Picnic Play program in the country. So I'm really looking forward to that arrangement too. So we'll be giving our, experienced volleyball players to go out and do delivery of the Picnic Play program right across the country.
All right. Well, I wish you all the best in 2020 and what's going to unfold in 2020. Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. Now, Dini, the Sports Hall of Fame. Tell us about it.
Yes, Bradley. Look, the 5th Papua New Guinea Sports Hall of Fame unfolded last Thursday here in Port Moresby at the Grand Papua Hotel, where 3 more sporting legends were inducted. The event, which was introduced in 2011 by the PNG Olympics Committee, is one that gives recognition to former athletes whose performances made a mark in Papua New Guinea's sporting history. This year's inductees bring the total number of legends on Papua New Guinea's Sports Hall of Fame to 17. This time in the sport of bowling, weightlifting, along with athletics, volleyball and netball. And the inductees are the late Sibona Oka from weightlifting, and present was his wife Kema Oka.
Mrs. Kema Oka with us this evening to receive his Hall of Fame award on his behalf.
Year after being introduced to weightlifting, Sibona was selected to compete for the Papua New Guinea territory team at the 3rd South Pacific Games in 1969. The 1969 South Pacific Games were to be hosted in Port Moresby after the 1963 edition in Suva and the 1966 SB Games hosted in New Caledonia. Being selected to the team in the bantamweight category was a baptism of fire for the young Sibona. Still a relative novice after being introduced in the sport a year earlier, he did not have any advanced lead-up training, camp or competition to help prepare for the games. This was the first time the sport of weightlifting was part of the South Pacific Games, and the competition was held at the PNG Defence Force Gymnasium at the Murray Barracks. Despite his relative inexperience, Sibona was very competitive and challenged the Tahitian favourite Andre Soneman for the gold medal in the bantamweight category. Sibona settled for the silver medal, and in doing so created history as the first South Pacific Games weightlifting medal won by a Papua New Guinean. He was also the first Papua New Guinean to lift at the South Pacific Games. The 1969 Games experience motivated Sibona, and 2 years at the 1971 South Pacific Games in Tahiti, Sibona took revenge on Soneman, beating the Tahitian on his home soil to snatch the gold medal. This was also another historical moment, as it was the first gold medal for PNG in weightlifting at the Pacific Games.
My family and I are very humbled for this special occasion. And like I've said, we are very humble for this honor. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. My children, we have 5 children.
Gewa Vadatao from bowling.
Gewa's first call to represent PNG came in 1986 for the Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh, Scotland. Unfortunately, PNG boycotted the event and did not attend. Gewa was selected to represent PNG again in 1988 at the World Bowls Championship in Auckland. It was during her next visit to Auckland for the 1990 Commonwealth Games where Gewa etched her name in PNG sporting history by becoming our country's first Commonwealth Games gold medalist.
After she played the shot, I went down behind her and I had a look at her shot, how the shot was scored. When I saw the shot, I turned around and I told her, we got it now. She didn't touch anything, she just went straight to the ditch. So at that time, I saw Yamo Launa running down now from the steps with our PNG flag. She came right over to the green. On the green, she ran to me, covered me with the flag. I was carrying the ball and the other balls too, the ball that I did not play with. So that's how we won the game.
And Yamo Gapi Launa, whose track record extends to national representation in athletics, volleyball and netball.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 17th inductee into the PNG Sports Hall of Fame.
From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank my beloved husband, late Kila Launa, a very unique person. Without him, I would not have come this far. And I give this award for his support, and my 2 children sitting in this room, Lian and Teriki. Thank you for your understanding. It's tough life.
Thank you, Mrs. Launa.
The 3 now joins the likes of Sir John Caputin, Edward Laboran, Tumat Sogolik, brothers Jackson and David Sito, Salitia Pipit, John Kokinai, Naomi Polum, Oi Eva Haria, Raki Leka, Charles Martin, Kea Kapulu Swartz and Kenneth Hopkins in Papua New Guinea Sport Hall of Fame.
The 11-team golf competition, which has been running since February this year, ended over the weekend. The Starland Dragons taking away the 2019 crown, the team finished undefeated with 66 points.
We've been over 20 years and we've never been outside the top 5. We've always and we've won a few times now. This is probably our 7th time we've won. So we're always in the top 5. We're a very consistent team, yes.
For 14-year-old Neville Gabriel, it was double celebrations. Not only did he enjoy the win from his team, he also took out the Best Player award.
This year was fun for me. I enjoyed the whole year playing, winning, especially the wins. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate maybe at someone's house and for maybe kill a pig, something like that.
Kumul Telecom Holdings sponsored this year's event with 70,000 kina.
The way I'm getting the information or the feedback that I'm getting from them is more about relaxation and they're enjoying this event. And I think as a KTH group, it is not a mistake for us to come in and sponsor this event. The sponsorship has delivered what we expect for us to come, mingle, do the networking. And networking is the very important part of it.
KTH is committed to supporting the competition next year.
We've got one more year to sponsor this sponsorship or this event, and KTH is very, very proud to say that next year will be another interesting, event for all the corporate houses.
The 2020 competition begins in February next year.
Yeah, look, congratulations to the Starland Dragons. Moving on to some rugby league, and the Port Moresby Vipers are on the lookout for talent in smaller league competitions in the city. We caught up with Steve Gunua, the club's co-coach at McGregor Barracks, watching the 2019 Disciplinary Cup playoffs.
Tell us about your purpose of your visit.
Thank you. My purpose for visiting the off-season league all around the Moresby, not only the McGregor wins, Bowman as well. I went down to watch the championship for the Southern Region Championship, and just to pick, there are many raw talent players out there. So, in order to pick the best and the raw talent out from those clubs, it's good we go out and see by ourselves to pick those local, and then we include them, and then we train them and build them up to become professional players.
What are you looking out for, especially from the players from the grassroots level within Port Moresby and the nearby Central Province?
Most of the players, mostly they picked from the big competition. But we have so many raw talents that they're scared of going out playing in a big competition. So in order to get those raw and the best players, we need to go out to because most of the boys around settlement areas and all these talents, most of them took part in the off-season league. So it's best we go out there and pick the best and potential. We can build them when we include them in our team. We'll build them up, to become the next ambassador for rugby in PNG.
Don't go away. You're watching Sports In. After the break, we review the big stories for this year.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching season finale here on Sports In. Now, since this is a final show for the year, we've decided to look back on some of the greatest stories told here on Sports In. Let's take a look at Sports In Top 5.
Number 5, the Great Britain Lions Tour. With the PNG Kumuls broke a 29-year drought, beating the Lions and the PNG Orchids, recording their first win against the England women in front of a home crowd of 15,000 at the Oil Search National Football Stadium. Number 4, Paris qualify for T20 World Cup. The PNG national men's cricket team, the Barramundis, for the first time qualified for the T20 Men's World Cup. Number 3, IOC President Thomas Bach's visit. International Olympics Committee President Thomas Bach's visit to Port Moresby. Number 2, Road to Samoa. The Road to Samoa campaign, which started at the beginning of the season, giving you weekly updates of where our athletes are up to with preparations. And finally, number 1, Pacific Games. And the Pacific Games, all the way from Samoa.
Yeah, look, what a year it's been. Bradley, I know Sports In is ending for this season, but sports will still continue to happen throughout the festive period. Is there anything you would be looking out to this period?
Yeah, of course, building on from this year to next year, we have a new look Hunters team with a new coach. That's, right. That's something to watch in 2020. Also, I think the NSL season is also beginning for sporting fanatics throughout Papua New Guinea, so that's also something to watch.
Here in Port Moresby, softball, of course, will be keeping people busy. Now, before we leave you, it's been one busy year for the show, starting right at the beginning with our Road to Samoa segments, leading into the Pacific Games and eventually the event itself. Congratulations to all athletes who took part. And of course, Papua New Guinea was following you every step of the way right here on EMTV. Now, to our viewers, you are the reason why we keep stepping every week to bring you all the sporting action. Thank you so much for being with us.
Sure.
And we look forward to your company again in 2020.
Now, to be featured on Sports In, or if you know of any amazing sports story or event that you would like us to cover in the new year, email us on sports@emtv.com.pg or message us on our Facebook page or call us on 312-9200, or you can call into our Garden City Level 2 office. That's the MTV office here at 4 Mile, Boroko, and ask for any one of us here in the sports team.
Once again, thank you so much for watching. We wish you well this festive period. Be safe. I'm Dinos Raiko.
And I'm Bradley Valenaki.
Bye for now. Welcome back. You're watching Sports In. We are now 5 weeks away. 6.
The PNG men's football arrived.
Chaos at of the coming.
I realized that.
Great story there. Don't go away. Grab a cup of coffee, or for myself, I would grab a boy. I advise not to do that, but
We'll begin with football.
Tell us a bit about more.
Yeah, look.
I can't read without my glasses.
To cricket now, and after the historical achievement in Dubai, the T20 men's in the T20 men's.
And Team James are in the national... Jamas.
Good night through Papua New Guinea. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always great. Joining us. Look at me. I have no shame. To secure the first grand final berth, Scorpions played.
We'll go for really.
Or you can message us on Facebook on our Sports In page.
Unwaveringly.
Unwavering.
I'm Bradley Gregory.
Lavu Koloa. Let's go.